Hey, how the hell is it going? It is Rich. Today I'm drawing Pitt. And if you are into comic books, manga, and anime art, making of that art, get into the nitty gritty and how to improve, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, help me out, click that thumbs up button, and this is all I do. This is what I cover. And improving, and hopefully you guys are going to improve with me. So when it comes to dynamic anatomy and muscles, what better character to draw than Pitt? He is pretty much the Hulk. I mean, Hulk proportions at least. He's not, I'm sure that's debatable. Pitt, I feel like Pitt versus Hulk would be a very good comic. I would buy that. I know they did Pitt versus Darkness, and this is back in the day. Pitt is from the 1990s, for those that don't know. He came out during the comic boom. Dale Keown created him, and Dale Keown was very, very popular, very famous for his Hulk work. So, just so you know where this all kind of came from, he is a badass when it comes to muscles, especially huge, muscle-bound guys. Like, damn, you can't get any better. Can't get any better. He does this incredible rendering style, and it's not just the crazy, image style hatching and details. No, he's able to draw the muscles and detail every sinew of a muscle. And if you don't know, muscles, they're made up of just, it's crazy. There's sinews and like seams. It's like it looks like a bunch of tiny little ribbons or muscles making up a bigger muscle, and he can detail all of it. So go ahead and do a Google search for Dale Keown and come back here and finish this video. Alright, so I think the character is kind of like a cross between Hulk and Lobo. It's just the craziest thing, over the top, just fantastic. It's exactly what you want out of a comic book. And you know what? I've only got two issues of Pitt, and I was like, I need more. I need more Pitt in my life. It's not enough. I need more Dale Keown art, and did a little research after drawing this, because I was like, man, it would be really great to have more of it. And I tried looking for a trade paperback, and it was insane. It was like $80 on Amazon for trade paperback volume 1 of Pitt. And I was looking at all the issues. I think it has over 20 issues of Pitt, which blew my mind, because drawing all these chains just for one image was a pain in the ass. So how he did it for like 22 pages over 20 issues? No, I would have killed myself. It is so difficult. And I'm sure, doing it that long, he developed some hacks, some techniques for doing it quickly. But that's just me. I'm like, man, this is hard to keep track of. So I'm going to analyze his work a little more, figure out how he did chains that quickly. But anyway, let's get back into this drawing. I'm using the dip pen now, and if you follow my channel pretty regularly, I did switch up the dip pen. So I usually use this nice nib holder. It's like E&M something, I don't know, but it's really long and it's skinnier than this one, and it's nice, but I wanted something thicker, and this is the one. So I went back to this nib holder, and I want to mess around with smaller, finer lines. So I changed the nib too. I don't know what this one's called, but I think it's basically the equivalent of a Maru nib. For those of you that are into manga and those tools, it's basically the equivalent of a Maru. It has a smaller attachment part too, so I had to switch that up. You see me going back to the pencils because I thought I could wing it with the chains, and I just couldn't. There's too much to keep track of there. How they're weaving together and attached. It's not something I want to, and I do end up using whiteout because it's kind of hard to keep track of. But once I figured out, yeah, I'm going to be using a lot of whiteout, it's like, screw that. I'm going to map this out first. So, but I do have a lot of fun kind of winging it with the inks and just keeping the pencils real loose. And then of course sometimes it's really fun to just go in and noodle lots of details with the pencil. It's very forgiving. You can just erase and experiment. So yeah, you know, I like to mix it up. I like to do a lot of different things with my process and developing that process and style. So, but let's get back into this. Super fine lines, so much fun. And of course, using a dip pen makes it take a little bit longer with the process, because you're stopping to dip the thing, you know, every 20 seconds about, and that's probably being gracious. Sometimes it's even shorter. All depends, you know, getting that solid ink flow, right consistency and stuff. It's kind of a mix of a science and an art, you know. You're mixing different inks and you're throwing a little bit of water in there, stirring it up, and then, you know, sometimes you gotta stop and do something. Sometimes you just need to stop and get some more coffee or whatever else is going on in your house. So this is fun. Working on the vest, the leather vest, was a lot of fun. And I don't only use the nib. You're gonna see me break out a brush pen and several brush pens actually. And then at one point I think I use a Pitt marker pen, whatever it is. So yeah. Well, working on these arms, man. Listen, when you're learning anatomy, drawing unrealistic proportions like the Hulk and stuff, it can help you learn. It really can. Exaggerating muscles and details and proportions can actually still help you learn anatomy and how muscles work together and stuff. So, absolutely. Break the rules sometimes. Whatever helps you learn this stuff, you know? Or just drawing, you know, thick arms like that, you know, by themselves on a page. Filling up an entire sketchbook full of arms will absolutely help you learn. You don't have to put them on unrealistic proportions like Pitt, with like this tiny waist and giant chest and giant arms. So, but man, it's really fun to draw. Really fun. And recently, Dale Keown he's been doing more comic covers, and he actually did one for Cyberfrog, I think it was. So, I don't think he's Comicsgate. I just think he doesn't really care about politics. Several artists have come out and done that recently. Kenneth Rockefort was another one. Jay Lee. You know, you're just seeing that politics don't mean as much as the media wants you to think. As much as CNN and Fox News want you to think and separate ourselves, a lot of people don't really care that much. Like, I'm sure they care about politics, but it's not worth losing friends and family over. It's not that serious. And they like to make it so tribalistic and venomous. It's really, really concerning. But Dale Keown's like, I don't give a damn. It's like, I like Ethan. I want to draw a cover for him. I'm sure Ethan paid him a lot. Because it's Dale Keown. Like, he's going to give you some gold. Sorry, taking a sip of my coffee. Arms are a lot of fun for me to draw. A lot of fun. Especially with Pitt, because they're so thick and huge. And I still, looking back at this piece, I don't think I got the proportions right. I think his chest and shoulders should have been even wider. Looking at the comics, sometimes it varies whether, you know, his chest and shoulders are like 5 or 6 heads wide, or like 4 heads wide. Sometimes they just go out ridiculous. And so it varies a little bit, but you know what? That's one of the awesome things about working in comics versus like animation. You gotta be on model when you're working in animation. But comics, it can entirely, you know, it can vary entirely depending on the story, what's going on in the moment, and in that panel. So these chains, man. I don't want to draw chains for a while. I'm gonna take a break from chains. Oh, right there. That's fun with the veins. Practice drawing veins because you can really show light source and form, how the arm is curving based on vein use. And they went really crazy back in the 90s. I don't know if I like all the veins that they used to do, but there are certain veins, like the one on the bicep, that's pretty much always there. That one that's like in the center of the bicep. So I pretty much always draw that one, because that shows, you know, it's easy to show form with that one. And I know for a fact that's anatomically correct. So I always do that one. And I might throw an extra one in on the forearm like I did there for really huge characters. He had big thighs too. Like he was just incredibly small in the waist, and then just explodes out the top and bottom. But Pitt was a badass character. I think if they did a crossover between Hulk and Pitt, I'm not sure Hulk would win. I'm not sure. Because Pitt is like immortal too. He's got this incredible healing factor. He's got sharp claws like Wolverine. He's just insane. And here I go with the brush pen. It is really great at filling in large areas of black. Now what I just learned about this pen is that I had it sitting brush side down. Now there's a cap on it obviously, but it was brush side down, sitting in my cup of pens, and all the ink really flowed down well after that, because it wasn't running dry, but the ink was very thin to the point where I would get a dry brush effect. So just turn it upside down if you're having that problem. It legit might be a problem that you're running out of ink, but I knew for a fact that wasn't the problem with this, so I let it sit like that probably a week before I came back to touch it. But then I had a problem of overflow on the page. This is mixed media paper, smooth mixed media paper. It's great. It's fantastic. It's my favorite paper. And you're probably like, this guy's ridiculous. He has a favorite paper. But it feels so good. It's smooth and it's thick like cardstock, and it's meant for taking ink as well as pencil. So I don't think it's meant for watercolor though, because it started warping a little bit with just this heavy ink flow. So just a little note for you guys: turning your brushes upside down, great for getting the ink back down there, but be careful. Yeah, you might get too much. And this is a Tombow brush pen that I'm using here, and this is definitely one of my favorite tools. I would use this all the time, but using the dip pen is a lot of fun. But this brush pen gives me line thickness that I prefer, and it's super consistent, doesn't dry out on me. Now this one is weird. It's like some sort of weird spongy brush tip thing, and it kind of squeaks across the page if you go fast and thick, and it gives me a great effect, but it's inconsistent. So but that serves it has a purpose, and that is for this cool leather effect. So I guess the point is, know your tools and have a variety of tools. You don't need a bunch of tools, but have a decent amount of tools, know what they do, and know how to use them. They all have a purpose. This leather vest came out looking so cool, by the way. I love this drawing almost just because the vest made everything pop even more. Yeah, as you can see, I was real happy with that. Getting different textures and patterns. Learning my tools even better. I wouldn't say I'm a great inker. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even call myself an inker, but after this one, I'm really appreciating what inks and inkers do. So, not that I didn't before, because man, you see some inkers like Tim Townsend and Rich Friend, they improve a penciler's work sometimes. But anyway, that's it for me. Thank you guys for coming, and subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, hit that thumbs up button, really helps, and comment, what do you guys want me to draw next? Comment down below what you guys want to see. I've been doing a lot of studio sketch sessions lately. You guys want more of that? Let me know. Thank you.